Oh, good morning, guys. What's going on? It's 13 after 6 in the morning, Saturday, on the 19th of July, 2025. I've been trying to keep up with the BOVE situation. Yeah, a couple of days ago, I remember I was watching this thing, and I'm like, what the hell? Senator Booker was trying to get a lot of information out of BOVE just to see if he's going to be qualified, and apparently, BOVE doesn't seem to care. He wants to get the lifetime, and he's willing to bend, break, and shatter the law to fit him and Trump, apparently. According to the sentiment and feelings about what's going on, Trump wants a win, and he's willing to break everything to get his wins, including breaking legal precedent, breaking laws, and not caring about consequences. He feels he's empowered, he's entitled, and everything should fall under him because he says so. And what I'm hearing about what BOVE is, BOVE's coming up for a district court judge somewhere, and it's a lifetime appointment. Now he has a choice of either, once you get the bench, either you're going to retire or you're going to just die at the bench, literally. But from what they were trying to get information out of was BOVE had said some stuff that's coming back to bite him in the ass on this one. And he said, fuck off to the legal. He was making a judgment call. Actually, he was a prosecutor. And he was basically telling the judge, fuck off. I want it this way. Anybody who's going to be flipping off judges and the law and legal precedents is not worthy of being a district judge or a judge, period. So we don't get it. I don't get it. Trump wants his racism on there. Everything bends to Trump's will. Even when Trump gets out of office, he still wants the world to bend towards his will. Stephen Miller wants the same damn shit. He wants it that way. I've been hard on a lot of people over here because I've been watching them and trying to observe them from a distance, trying to keep my cool on this stuff. People will be talking. The media folk will be talking about one way or another. And you have Trump wants to bring out all these things that people have said that happened, deep state stuff. Well, it was being proven that he is deep state. He's making things happen. He was saying this stuff before he got in office, and then he tried to prove it by making it happen, by making it real in the first term, and now in the second term, he's really going for it. I mean, he did say in the campaign trail that he wanted to be a tyrant, and people laughed at him because they took him less seriously. Well, now they're screaming. They're screaming because we got kids being taken away, we got adults being taken away. How about a teenager who lied his ass off in a car and finds himself in ICE's custody? And then his family had to bring documentation to prove he was a citizen, but also he was too underage for the prison. He's a freaking teenager, not an adult. They got to put him into another container away from Alcatraz. Still there. Well, we don't know what else is going to happen to the kid. And some of the news agencies are going on each other's shows, trying to show what kind of screwed up illegal immigration system we've got right now. With Stephen Miller in charge of vetting and of removing anybody who's brown skinned out of the country, we're now allowing refugees from South Africa who are white, who were apartheid, coming into the country with no issues at all. But they're not going to do the same damn work as the others. They're not going to do the labor. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. But it seems like racism is the rage now. I have to make this clarified to the rest of the world, not to mention to the rest of future mankind, that the United States had been racist for a hell of a long while, ever since its conception, or even prior to that. We tried not to keep it blatant, but yeah, we did keep it blatant. We had an 1860 war of civil rights, civil rights for the blacks, if they can get it. But it's also a civil war because ideology was it. Besides commercialism or progress versus conservative, no, it was basically ideology and racism. Black people wanted to be free. But unfortunately, the conservatives, and at that time they were called Democrats or Dixiecrats at the time, and called the Whig Party for the Northern. Yeah, there was racism going on. Plantation owners for over a century or more wanted things just the way they were. Human slavery. It took a bloody war. It took a bloody civil war. We tore ourselves apart over this. Households, friendships gone. Eventually, the Union did win. But damage had already been done. We'd shown our racism. And then the KKK came out, showing it more and more. We showed our disdain for certain traditions and ideologies and ideologues. So it was still there a long time. Now, even though the parties had switched what they were about, the Republicans became the conservatives, and they would like the racism continue on. And the Dixiecrats, the Democrats, wanted progression, wanted to expand civil rights. The generations, and another bloody riot back in the 60s, and a lot of marches to potentially get the civil rights movement going on, and we get rights for everybody. But the racism still is ingrained in our system, in ourselves, in our teachings, in different states who promote racism. What's surprising is a liberal city and a liberal state still can create conservative racists. And they hate the word racist. I'm sorry, I'm throwing it out. You're racist, guys. You support Stephen Miller and his thinking. You support that we can't have those people come in here. Why not? You keep forgetting what the hell our country was started off with. We came over as European conquerors, not just explorers, but conquerors. We wanted, we got. Manifest destiny. We wanted territory. We wanted manpower. We wanted minerals. We wanted. And we obtained. And we also used tools to get it too. Death, disease, lead balls. Conversion. Switching of one ideology to another ideology. Challenging people's faith and converting them into it. Almost wiping out an entire history just because we thought we were right. We were screwed up then, we're screwed up now. And we're allowing it to happen openly. We are telling people that racism is okay in this country. We are telling immigrants, do not come here unless you're white skinned and think that everybody else is beneath you. Then you're allowed to come in here. Because in this current administration, in this current thinking, it's acceptable. If you're from the Latin countries, you're not allowed to come into the United States unless you have been thoroughly vetted and then still refused because you are brown skinned. If you're black skinned, stay the hell where you are. You're not coming in. This is the attitude of the United States of America turned into the United States of Trumpland. And I am not mincing words. I will probably get sued. Well, I'm on Social Security. What else do you want? My blood? My blood's red. And unfortunately, so is racism. And so is everybody else who gets insulted by racism. So I'm not holding back on it. I'm not holding back because I am in judgmental at this point of people's actions. Instead of being observational and it's just my observation. No, I'm being judgmental at this point. I know what it's like to be prejudicial. I was at one time prejudicial. And I've stated it on my in my videos when I'm doing my past history. I stated it. I don't take it back. I'm careful choosing my words, and I'm pretty much freely on this one. And I call them. You gonna challenge me in court? Fine, challenge me in court. Let's bring out the remarks. If you're on record, if you've been taped, if you're on audio or video, or you've got witnesses proving that you have said these things, but you deny it. This is what BOVE is going through in court, actually through the confirmation process in the United States Senate. That he is a racist. Stephen Miller is a racist. The whole Trump administration is racist. We have conspiracy theorists who are in cabinet positions, who are in charge of everything. And they're racists. Prove it. Prove that you're not racist. Put it on record. Let people look at the record, what you've done. People look at me. They think I'm racist. Well, because I haven't spewed up any MAGA crap. But the problem is, you wouldn't know what a racist was unless they started talking or doing actions, or both. I'm not going to win any friends. I'm not going to win any points. I call them when I see them. It's not the entire race I'm judging at this point. It's the individuals I see. It's not that I'm going to say that every Latino out there is beneath me. No. No. I'm not saying that every black in whatever kind of shade is beneath me. No, I didn't say that either. But I am going to say that if you think that skin color is the only way to judge a person, and it's been denied many times by the Trumplicants. I see with my eyes skin differences. Yes. I hear and experience cultural differences. Yes. It doesn't scare me. I've lived in a liberal state for a hell of a long while. And yes, in my youth, I had issues of prejudice. And I was hating the kids I was going to school with in a predominantly Latino black community. And it was Latino kids who were picking up on my ass. Because I was a weak white kid who came in with health conditions. And they didn't appreciate a new kid coming in like that. They were harassing me. They thought they were being kids, but in actuality, they were being mean as hell. And they used me for target practice. And I got into a few fights. And I was scrappy enough to beat them up. And then I had to get out of the area. Forced out of one particular household into another neighborhood. But I got put into another school for junior high. And I saw the cultural differences as I came from an elementary school prior to the one I moved into. That was culturally different. And you know what? I didn't mind it. I didn't mind having friends who were black, who were white, who were Asian, who were Latina. I didn't mind it at all. Because I grew up in an environment that challenged me of either hating these guys or I didn't. And once I knew what kind of a people they were, as individuals, I treated them as individuals. I had a family who was also French Creole. And you know what? They were just as loving as everything else I remember back then. These days, I've been in contact with them ever since they lost their mother, so I don't know what we're going to be doing at this point. But I still retain them in my heart, and I still love them anyway. They're my family. Family is not just only blood. It's the group that you belong with, for me, that I feel close to, as I feel close to my own family. I know what it's like to lose family. I know the pain too damn well. And having families ripped apart because of racism and shoved into cages, potentially being shipped out, but those cases get dragged through the court system, so they're not going anywhere, but staying in stagnant places. Health conditions increasing left and right. But we want those kind of people to judge others thinking they're above the law, when they would say to a judge in the law, fuck you. We are there in that point. We were warned a long time ago, but they didn't see it. They didn't want to see this thing coming. They didn't. They didn't want to see the uglier, darker nature of ourselves. Why would they? It would be beneath them. I knew. I knew what it was like to be profiled, to be trailer trash, to be on GR scum, getting state aid, getting food stamps, the embarrassment. Didn't matter if you're white or not. You were still trash because you didn't earn any money. And here's the thing. My family was earning money from the state to take care of two elderly ladies instead of handing the money over to facilities that didn't give a shit as much. My mother worked her ass off trying to take care of him and boys to raise into men. And they had a happy life until they died, or as much of a life we can try giving them until they passed away. And my mother had to go back to work, dealing in an environment may have been hostile, may have not have been. And I had to go to school and graduate. So the case for 12. But after graduation from high school, I went into a wider world. I went and tried to go into the academia during that time, and I discovered I may have liked it for a time, but I wasn't giving it my all. So I got shunned because of my grades. And for 30 plus years, bouncing from job to job to job, sometimes lasting a few months or a few weeks, other times lasting a few years. And things happen. But at least I wasn't angry or hateful at people. I was struggling for survival and keeping a paycheck rolling. That was the only thing I had concern about. Keep the roof over the head, keep the bills paid, and keep the food coming in. And gas money. Staying with a family. Keeping them alive. That was my job. Caregiver to a mother passing away. Last of her life. I'm regretting it because I wish I had done better. But I did the best I could out of the people that said, sometimes I wish I could have done better to take care of my mom. And then I looked towards my brother and take care of him until he passed. And I feel like I didn't do enough for him either. But I did the best I could, I think. Other people have told me that. Now I'm doing the caregiving of my dog. But these things happen. But for me, holding out much anger and resentment towards racism, towards people who are different than I am, I have to keep questioning my own self and then my own judgment and my own tendencies, my own beliefs and faith and ideologies, everything else I have to question. Because I'm judging me on this. The world can try doing its own judgment on it. But me, I'm judging myself on this damn thing. And I don't point the finger of blame if things go wrong. I'm not pointing a finger at everybody or skin colors or faith or ideologies or anything else like that. I'll point the finger back at me. What did I do that I should have done? What should I have said and not said? Were my actions and whose eyes of judgment about my actions, were they good or not? And define the good. Define that. See, I question myself. I self-question myself. I tear myself apart. I struggle with what I have. Damn near got killed at a job. People didn't give a shit. I struggle with the mental and physical damages. And then everything else that happened in the past haunting my ass. I haven't been out of the house or the apartment in a long while. I had made friends originally in different places, but I don't go there anymore. It's not a prejudice. It's not. So I don't feel comfortable with people anymore. And if I do have physical contact, I have to put on the facade. It's not aiding them. It's not being able to deal with anybody at all. I'm not in it for to feel sorry for me and pity me. No, I'm just dealing and coping with the crap I've got inside my head. But when I'm seeing people bad mouthing other people because they're trying to build up their ego, they're trying to build up their street creds to be superior to everybody, I gotta say something about it. Because down the road, they're going to be affecting my ass. So I gotta put it on record what I think and what I feel. And eventually, you'll be kicking my ass. I'll be expecting it. One form and another are going to be coming over here to kick my ass. Bring it on. Bring it on. You're going to bring racism across the borders when we already have it? You're going to bring it across the waters to prove that you're morally superior to anybody else? And yet we're kicking out those who want to make a better life for our country, for their own, for their own people, for their own families. But we're telling them they're bad people because we mislabeled them one way or another and then kicking them out. And yet we're going to get racists moved over here and thinking, what a wonderful bunch of people. Our country deserves to be burned in hell in effigy. We deserve to be crashed and burned because we have broken everything of our precedents that we supposedly hid behind and shown up proudly. We're liars, cheats, thieves, pilfering, pillaging, plundering pirates. We're worse than succulent leeches. We're selfish, egotistical bastards in this country. We are breaking every law and precedent just to feed a damn ego. I don't care if I lose friends. I don't care if I lose subscribers. I don't live by them. I just live and survive and say what's on my mind. I am not morally superior to anybody or superior in any way to anybody. And I am a judgmental bastard because I see good people getting their asses kicked out of a country that was supposed to be pluralistic, who actually cared. But we lost that. We made that prevalent more and more. And this, I'm telling history. And I'm telling the world today, at this moment, what we are. You're going to visit the United States of Trumpland? You're going to try to see the wonders? Then you better be white. And you better be rich. Because that's the only way you're going to get through in the country. There's going to be a lot of other people who are going to be denying it and probably think I'm lousy about it. You know what? Let them. That's their own opinion. But I'm not going to say that they're wrong. Because I'm already seeing the darker nature of humanity at this point getting more and more prevalent. And we're not doing anything about it either. Except increase its own visibility. In the religious aspects and of different faiths, we're supposed to be promoting peace and goodwill and love. Goodwill and love of a guy who gets chased in a field and dies because he falls off of something and busts his head open and never survives. Or of a health condition in alligator Alcatraz that kills him in there as well. or in another ICE facility. We show our love and our faith as we have people who supposedly worship in their own faith of peace and love, chasing after everybody with zest and zeal, busting their asses, hiding their faces on a constant basis, theoretically to protect them and their family. They can't protect themselves from their heart or their head, but they try, as they do harm. I'm calling it out. I don't care if my subscribers go down to 0. I'm calling it out. When we have elected officials who are too damn scared of one orange gas bag and like-minded thinking fools and idiots who think that racism is the number one law of the land, I say fuck you. Or in your case, unfuck you. Prove me wrong, assholes.